So I had my parents over to my house the other day. I was showing my dad the Frankenstein immersion cooling project I've been working with. And he was like, oh, is this for your Bitcoins? And internally, I was trying to decide what echelon of explanation I was gonna try to attempt. My dad's in his 70s, and even though he was a network engineer back in the 90s and the early 2000s in his heydays, he hasn't kept up with the intricacies of the blockchain. So I decided to go for it. I said, well, no, this computer's mining Ether. Huh? I said, Ethereum, it's a cryptocurrency. He said, huh? I said, it's like Bitcoin, but it's not really like Bitcoin at all. Oh, it's a type of Bitcoin. Yeah. It's a type of Bitcoin. My name is Nicholas Johnson, and this is the Space Warehouse. Actually, this is South Beach in Miami. We're doing a art thing. My dad is a huge supporter of my projects, and he watches my videos. Hi, Dad. But either he's watching with the sound off, or he just doesn't understand anything that I ever talk about. Whether I'm talking about the upcoming Ethereum 2 merge or the increasing global block difficulty, despite the fact that China took so much hash power offline. There's no way he's following along when I'm talking about my bullish outlook with the upcoming halving, or why I might be planning a trip to the moon. I'm completely sure I'm not alone in this. There's a whole generation of boomer parents that don't know they can just ask their phone a question out loud, or that the things they read on Facebook might not even be real. So I want to do all the parents out there a service. This video shall serve as a commonly used crypto words explainer, and it will be incomplete, particularly if you ever go onto Reddit and look into anything at all. These are in the order that they come to me, and really half of them could be the subject of their own video. But I think I can help give at least some people a basic understanding when you're reading the internet about cryptocurrencies. Let's start with some acronyms that may trip you up initially with people's responses online. DYOR, do your own research. A lot of times when people post a basic question on a forum online, people will jump all over them telling them to do your own research, seemingly oblivious that the person is no doubt doing some level of research just by asking the question. DD, due diligence. Similar to DYOR, when someone's telling you to do your DD, they're telling you to look more deeply into whatever thing you're trying to spend money on. It typically follows advice that someone just gave, like, oh, it's looking like Tesla's got another 3x in them in the short term based on the supply chain problem, but do your own DD. That is to say, if you lose your money, don't blame me because I just made up what I said. DCA, dollar cost average. I swear these aren't meant to be alphabetical. You'll hear the advice to DCA in, or dollar cost average, into an investment rather than just dumping all your money in at once. It simply means to systematically invest equal amounts spaced out over regular intervals regardless of price. That follows the old adage of time in the market beats timing the market. 2FA, two-factor authentication. I don't know why age has anything to do with it, but old people tend not to use very good security with their online accounts. The password is not a good password. Two-factor authentication is a method that websites and apps and exchanges will use to make sure that you are you. So even after you put in your password, you'll have to look at your phone or on your watch and okay something, or put in a 6-digit password that they'll send to you, or whoever stole your phone. Wen Lambo. If someone's asking Wen Lambo about a particular cryptocurrency, they're just asking when their investment will make a return large enough for them to buy a Lamborghini. This is the result of some coins very suddenly going up like 1,000% overnight and making a lot of people super rich. Well, unless they hold, because usually those same coins will dump right after. Dump. When a coin dumps, it means that either a huge majority of holders sell suddenly, or one guy who holds a whole bunch sells his coins. This causes a cascade of everyone else selling, and the price drops faster than you can even sign into your account. Speaking of bag holder, a bag holder is someone who bought early enough to watch their investment skyrocket, or they even bought it at the peak, but refused to ever sell for a profit, so they're left holding the bag full of worthless currency after it dumps. A whale. A whale is an extraordinarily wealthy person, or an organization controlled by one investor, who can single-handedly change the price of a cryptocurrency, either by buying or selling such a large amount that it literally just changes the value of the currency because of supply and demand, or by having so much clout that the mere mention of a cryptocurrency will drive so many people to go buy it or sell it that the price will change. To hold, often spelled HODL, is the practice of not selling your coins. HODL first appeared in 2013 as Hold On for Dear Life, when user GameKeyubi held through that year's price collapse in order to realize enormous gains. Personally, I don't love it when people speak it out loud that way, but that's completely a personal preference, and I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Diamond hands is the practice of holding no matter what. It's when you believe in your project so strongly that you squeeze your tokens so hard that your hands turn into diamonds. Paper hands, on the other hand, is the practice of taking profits by selling your coins. And for some reason, it's used as a derogatory slur, even though almost everyone's in this to make money. FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If you're not an avid investor, it might come as a surprise to find out that there are whole teams of people deployed all over the crypto market and in the stock market to write articles and social media posts specifically with the intention of casting doubt among investors, and therefore move the price downward when people sell out of their positions. This is done so that larger investors can buy in at a lower price, and it's actually quite common. A fudster is someone who's identified as a person spreading FUD, often lying about a project or taking something true just wildly out of context to make it scary. Market cap. Market capitalization refers to the total dollar market value of all coins available for a particular cryptocurrency. The price of Bitcoin, for instance, changes constantly, so the moment I say this out loud, it'll be out of date. But Bitcoin currently has 18,868,506 coins in circulation. Each one costs $66,000, so their current market cap is $1,259,874,136,049. If you're watching this even a day after I recorded it, it's completely different. But that's $1.2 trillion. Altcoin. An altcoin is simply anything that's not a Bitcoin. Currently, Ethereum is the most popular altcoin by market cap. A shitcoin is a cryptocurrency with little to no value, or a digital currency that has no immediate discernible purpose. However, every once in a while, when the whole world comes together, even a project that started out as a joke, as a meme, can gain enough investors to create millionaires out of nowhere. But in general, it's risky to invest in shitcoins. Sometimes you'll hear about a coin going to the moon. This one seems fairly obvious, but sometimes it's written like Ethereum is gonna moon after the hard fork. I can see that throwing my dad off of its meaning. To moon, metaphorically, means that your blockchain token of choice has found its way onto a rocket ship, and its price is about to blast off so high that it will travel into space. I feel like this massively oversimplifies most aspects of orbital mechanics and space travel with respect to altitude. Like, you don't just go straight to the moon, you have to orbit the Earth at just the right time and speed, and actually at some points you're lower than when you started. But it's hard to argue that the moon is really high, so going to the moon means your price is going really high. The blockchain. The blockchain is a ledger of all the transactions that have ever taken place within that system. For Bitcoin, as new transactions take place, peer-to-peer computers that are connected all over the world will validate those transactions, and every 10 minutes a new block is created. That block is then connected to the previous block to form a chain that can never be edited or deleted forever and ever, because every Bitcoin miner around the world has a complete copy of that ledger, and the whole network reaches a consensus of that data so that no one entity can control it or can change it. It is, therefore, decentralized. Decentralization. Decentralization refers to the fact that no one entity controls the price or transactions of a cryptocurrency on the blockchain. Unlike a government currency, a fiat currency, like the US dollar, no government can just make more Bitcoins, essentially devaluing all existing dollars, like they can with paper money. Mining is super hard to simplify, basically because, like, what is a calculator actually doing when you put in 28 times 87? Who the hell knows, but it spits out a correct answer. Everyone who's mining is running specialized ASIC computers. They're trying to solve a block using a nonce and a bunch of hashes. Crypto miners are racing to solve some complex algorithm, to be the first to complete a cryptographic puzzle, to win the prize, to be the one that writes the next block on the blockchain, and with it to receive a reward in that currency. What I can bring into perspective is that Bitcoin mining speed is measured in the terahash per second. That is trillions of attempts at solving a riddle per second. A trillion is a number people have a hard time conceptualizing accurately, but I think I can help. If you got a job where you were paid $1,000 an hour for 24 hours a day, it would take 114,155 years to earn $1 trillion. Those computers are working hard. NFT, non-fungible token. An example of a fungible token is a Bitcoin. Each Bitcoin will always have the same value as every other Bitcoin. NFTs, though, are all unique. Their ownership data and transaction history live securely on the blockchain, which, remember, is not editable and cannot be deleted. So when you see an NFT of a picture or a 3D asset on a computer, the NFT part is a digital identification, not the actual picture itself. It just points to and explains ownership of the art. We call that provenance in the art world. The reason these are so good for art is because the blockchain is immutable. It cannot be edited. The history of ownership and origin of the art can't be faked and can easily be tracked down for authentication. Art valuation without NFTs, like the traditional art trade, the business I'm actually in, is practically an art itself. Discerning whether a work is even real or who's owned it in the past, a lot of it's just made up and controlled by a number of gatekeeping groups. Little art world secret. NFTs can be used much more widely than just art also. They can be used to show ownership of just about anything. Anything that would normally have a contract. Woo! The deed to your house could exist as an NFT, and it would be easily traceable and non-forgeable. Not that forging deeds to houses is a common thing we worry about, but the process of selling it would actually happen a lot easier. Crypto words and acronyms. Part 1 of maybe 1, maybe 11. Who knows? I don't know. We're in Miami now, and I've got art world things to do, so comment more crypto words if you got them. Maybe I should make a mining one of these things. I think I'll make one of these for mining.